Well, thank you, Dr. Johnson, for sharing that. And so, of course, this project is all about COVID-19.
Yes.
Do you have any questions for the students?
No, I think it is fascinating the way that you tried to just use an educated guess onto what areas or communities would have a high level, and then looking at variables afterwards. I just wanted to mention that I think perhaps, if anything, the asthma in the Vegas area may be related to just environmental allergens. And that's why I mentioned that it's a desert. But I may have questions as we go along. I don't currently, though. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Sikowski, do you have any questions for the students?
Hi, so far not. Well, maybe I do. So with the vulnerability, you know, we see Dallas looks lower, Tennessee, Nashville lower than the others. You know, should the people in those areas worry as much as like in Los Angeles? Or, you know, should they have different, do you think they should have different measures to mitigate the spread of COVID-19?
This is Noah Langford. I am an elementary education major from Lexington, Kentucky. I believe that they should have the same precautions as Las Vegas, and because if they have the same precautions, even if their numbers are not as high, it can make sure it doesn't get as high as Las Vegas, if that makes sense. So I don't think it's ever too much to be too precautious. I think it's good to be extra cautious.
All right, thanks.
Yes, thank you. I see that Arianna Scott has joined us, and so I'm going to ask her. Can you hear me, Arianna?
It's Arianna, but yes, I am here.
Sorry, okay, Arianna Scott. So let's have Treveon. Could you pull up the attribute table, please? There to the the attribute table. Go back to wow. Detail. Yeah. Okay. Go to okay. Go. So next to that little square, circle, and triangle, see that to the left, right there. Okay. There's our attribute table. Okay. So if you scroll across, you see the variables that the students had to collect, and so there's population density, population over 65%, population over 65%, Black, and so on and so forth. Asthma, of course, social vulnerability, and percent in poverty. Ms. Scott, was there another? We have the variables that you see here. I actually assigned to the students, and so the students had to go to primary data sources, collect the data, compile the data in an Excel spreadsheet, convert it to CSV, comma delimited text, and then pull that attribute table into ArcGIS Online. So yes, they did all of that. So the variables you see here were not selected by the students. The reason that I did that was to kind of Google proof our students, to get us into the habit of getting primary source data from verifiable places. But Ms. Scott, was there another variable, or were there other variables that we could have included that might have been helpful in determining the vulnerability of urban populations to COVID-19?
I think so, if any way possible.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ari, I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, I know you came in late. Just please introduce yourself, your name, major, where you're from. That's
okay.
fine.
Well, I'm sorry. My name is Arianna Scott. I am from Lithonia, Georgia. I am a arts and science development K-8 major. And I think more variables we could have included was, people who have diabetes, for instance, because I know that some people who have those type of diseases are vulnerable as well to COVID-19. So I think we could have included that percentage.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. Yeah, that is true. I'm gonna pick on our MD here. Yeah, Dr. Johnson, why would diabetes make someone more vulnerable to COVID-19 that attacks the lungs?
Well, it attacks the lungs, but it also has cardiovascular, side effects or outcomes. I would say that just being immune compromised in general, because diabetes in general affects so many systems in the body. The whole peripheral vascular system, the cardiac system, the endocrine system. So I think it's more than that. I think because this virus isn't really just isolated to the lungs, it's because it can have an impact in many different systems.
Okay, thank you very much. So we do have a second group of students. So let's see, we have from the second group of students, we have, let me see who's here today. Yeah, we had some disruptions. Let's see, from the second group, I see Diamond Parrish is here. And we might be, let's see, Diamond, you might be doing a solo job today. See, Morgan, I thought I saw Zoe.
I'm in that group.
Who's speaking?
Bridgett Lopez.
Oh, Bridgett. Yeah, I can't see. Let me. Yeah, if you okay, I see. I can't see everybody.
Me too, Dr. Patchen. I'm sorry.
Okay, I mean, you're fine. I just can't see everybody when there's a screen share on. So thank you very much, group. Whatever group that 3, 4, 1. Very good job. We're going to move on to the next group. Thank you very much. Very good job in spite of all the disruptions, but we're going to carry on. So Treveon, if you would just stop your share, please. Okay, now I can see everybody. So from group 2, we have, okay, I see Zoe, Lancaster, Diamond Parrish, and who else? Let's see. Kaylan Williams. So we have Kaylan Williams and Bridgett Lopez, Zoe Lancaster, and Diamond Parrish. Did I see, was Zoe here? There she is. Okay, good. All right, so what we're going to do now is I am going to bring your map up. I think your map was fine as it was, but I'll still just pull it into the chat box. Yeah, I'll pull it into the chat box. So I'll post it in the chat box. And so now we need a volunteer who's on a PC, hopefully. Someone who's on a PC to open up the map on his or her, well, I guess in this case, her PC. Who would like to volunteer to do that? To control the map?
I'm on a MacBook.
Oh, is that Kaylan?
Yes.
Okay, so just click on that link and you should be able to open up the map on your PC, and then you should be able to share your, you should be able to share your screen, and then we'll get rolling.
I was saying I have a MacBook.
A MacBook. Ooh, I don't know. Does anyone else want? Let's see if anyone, Diamond or, wait a minute, or Zoe.
I can share my screen if you don't mind sending that link again. I have.
Oh, it's in the chat.
Yeah, I just got kicked off because of my internet connection.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it does erase your chat. Yeah, I'll post it here again. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And so, let's see, do we have any other? Okay, so again, so this group, and again, I will ask you questions, introduce yourself, name, major, et cetera, et cetera. This group had a different set of cities. They had Bridgeport, Connecticut, St. Petersburg, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Durham, North Carolina. And let's see if I can, so there in your initial rankings, you had St. Petersburg, Florida as the most vulnerable to COVID-19, then Albuquerque, New Mexico, then Indianapolis, Indiana, followed by Bridgeport, Connecticut, and then Durham, North Carolina. So any of you all, why was St. Petersburg, Florida at the top of your rankings?
Well, we actually were
Oh,
just going by,
sorry,
oh, I'm sorry, this is Diamond Parrish, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. My major is architectural engineering, and we actually went with St. Bert's, Florida, because
oh, Diamond, you muted yourself. Did I mute you? Okay. Maybe there was some back. Yes. Anyone else from the group? I don't know what happened to Diamond. Maybe she's in a noisy area.
My name is Bridgett Lopez. I'm majoring in dental hygiene, and what made Florida the first ranking or the first rank, I think, is that it's a popular tourist attraction and many people go there for vacation and trips. So it would be more vulnerable to COVID spreading faster.
Okay, good enough. Like I said, just a simple yes. Okay, so let's see what you all wound up with after you did your analysis of the maps and your data. Let's see. So you wound up with, wow, St. Petersburg fell all the way down to number 4. And after you did your analysis, Indianapolis, Indiana, interestingly enough, wound up being number 1. So what variable, okay, Diamond says her mic isn't working. What variable pushed Indianapolis to the top over the other cities?
My name is Zoe Lancaster. I'm an experimental psychology major and I'm from Quebec, Canada. I think Indianapolis got pushed to the top because of population density as well as its population over the age of 65.
Okay, who is managing the map?
I am.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Let me click it.
Senior moment. You'll find out about these one day. Long. Okay, so yeah, just go to yeah, change the yeah, change it to population density first. Okay, this should be interesting. Okay, and then just pull the legend back up, please. Yeah. No, go back to details. Now go see where it says legend. Just click right. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we have a wide range of population density. I think that is probably Bridgeport, Connecticut, that has the highest population density. And Indianapolis, I've been to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a relatively large kind of spread out city, but okay. But why would any of you all, why would population density be a variable that we would consider in terms of COVID-19 vulnerability?
Hi, my name is Kaylan Williams. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm a public health major.
Oh, you're a public
And,
health. Okay.
I believe, okay, with the density, when it comes to, I guess, writing down information and collecting data, the numbers will look different. For instance, a city that has 4,000 people, if they have 3,500 people have COVID, it looks way worse compared to a city that has 9,000 people and they have 3,500 people with COVID. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's yeah, I can understand what you're saying, but I'd like to add, interestingly enough, what researchers have found is that population density is a significant factor, but another variable is the number of people that live within a home. So you could have a city that might not have the highest population density, but might have a lot of multi-generational houses. And of course, when you live in close proximity to people in your own house, it's difficult to social distance. The other variable you mentioned was, I can't remember. What was it? You said it was population density. There was a second one that you mentioned is driving Indianapolis to the top. I have an excuse for not remembering. I have 56 excuses for not remembering. You mentioned it with two variables. What was the second one? Was
The
it
second factor was the percent of the population over the age of 65.
over the age of 65? Yes, that's going to be in it. Let's pull that up. Percent of the population over age of 65. Okay, click. Okay, yes. Wait. Oh, it's still on population density. Yeah.
Can you hear me? This is Diamond.
Yes, we can hear you, Diamond.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's just technology. Okay, so these are numbers of, let's do percent population over 65. Oh, well, no, don't do it yet. Okay, so let's look at this map. So these are the numbers of people over the age of 65 in each city. So Indianapolis has, click on Indianapolis to see the exact number, please. So Indianapolis has about 141,000 people over the age of 65. Now let's change that to percentage. So let's look at this map. And now let's change it to the percentage over age of 65. Yep, there you go. Yep. Okay, so, whoa. So so St. Petersburg, Florida, I just happen to know, is one of the cities in the United States that has one of the highest percentages of people over the age of 65. Again, as I mentioned before, when we get older, we become more sensitive to cold. And that's why a lot of people migrate south to retire. In St. Petersburg, in fact, I was just there last weekend, is a city that has a higher than average percentage of people in their 60s and over. So on average, the average city has about 12% of its population age 65 years and older. And as you can see, click on St. Petersburg, Florida for me, please. And so for St. Petersburg, it's 18%, close to 1 in 5 of the people that live in St. Petersburg, Florida are over the age of 65. So when you looked at the previous map of raw numbers, and then you looked at the this map that has, you can close that dialog box, that has percent, what does that tell you about the importance of understanding how data are displayed on a map? Any of you? Okay, let me simplify the question. Did the two maps look exactly the same?
No, this is Diamond Parrish.
Yes. No, okay, no.
No, they didn't look the same.
Yeah. So that shows you that how we choose to display data can make a big difference in what we see, right? So even though Indianapolis has a lower percentage of persons over 65, why might there be greater concern for Indianapolis than for St. Petersburg, based upon what you just saw in these two maps?
Is it because of the percentage of elderly people in Florida?
Remember, we went from the map that had, when we looked at the map that had the numbers of people over 65, which city had the most? Let's answer the question. Which city had the most people over age 65? Yeah, Zoe, go back to the other map, please. Just raw numbers. Okay, now can you see?
Indianapolis, yeah, Indiana.
Yeah, so now how did this map change versus the other map?
Because of the percentage, and this is the population.
Okay, which
It counts.
Yes.
Lancaster, the percentage, it accounts for all of the people in the area, not just the elderly population, whereas the population accounts for just the elderly population. In Indianapolis, the elderly population is bigger, whereas the percentage is smaller because it accounts for all of the people in the area.
Exactly. So even though Indianapolis's percentage might be smaller in terms of numbers, so what do you think about when we start to talk about COVID-19? What do you need? Testing centers, right? Personal protective equipment, all of those things have to be distributed to people. And if Indianapolis has so many more people over age 65, then that might drive our decision to push Indianapolis to being more vulnerable. You just have more people, even though it's not as high of a percentage as St. Petersburg, Florida. Okay, I'm going to open it up to anyone else who wishes to ask a question. I guess we still have guests. And we have at least, see, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Sikowski is still here, and one other guest. Does anyone else other than me like to ask a question? Please.
I could, sure. So we kind of see that like Indiana's having a spike in viruses. All the places north of Nashville basically are having a problem. What do you think might be causing that? What might be a variable that we might have to look at?
So Dr. Sikowski, you're saying what variable might be causing the spike in Indiana or Indianapolis?
Yeah, this right now.
Yeah, where is our health science major? That was that?
I think the variable would be the percentage of population over 65.
That's a good education. Well, maybe not the percentage of population over 65, but what?
Well, yeah, the population is what I'm saying.
Are you our health science major?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Who's our health science major? Don't hide. Don't hide. I just can't remember. Is that Kaylan? Kaylan, are you the health science major?
Yes.
Oh. Dr. Johnson, do you have a question for Kaylan, who is also a future health professional?
Do you think that some of the shifts or current trends are related to herd immunity or more in change in climate or depending on the season?
May you repeat it one more time so I can?
Well, as we've risen, as our cases are rising, it varies depending on what state it is, what location. So some of that theory is related to it being a colder. We may be indoors more, or it may be, although COVID, I don't know, I'm not asking it correctly, but although COVID is also very similar to MERS, and MERS, it's still stable with heat versus cold. But no, the numbers, do you think with the path that we've gone in 2020 from March until now with increasing numbers, do you think the numbers are increasing more due to areas that did not have a herd immunity and now are more susceptible to COVID? Or is it due to environmental or climate differences that we have colder environments now with the winter months?
I feel like it's both, because it is kind of flu season, and this is a common time for everyone to get sick on top of COVID. So I really do think that's a big factor right now, because, well, I really don't know, because they said it was supposed to go away from the heat, and now it's cold again. It's getting colder, and the cases are going up. So I'm assuming the weather is playing a big factor in it, because the numbers went down at one point, I believe, because we came back on campus due to the numbers going down a little bit, but now they're higher. And I do think the weather plays a big factor part of it.
Okay, one last thing, Zoe, would you mind pulling up the attribute table? It's the one to the left, to the left, to the left. There you go. Okay, so again, these are the scroll across to the right. So these are the various variables that the students look for and investigate on their own from primary sources. So I guess my last question is for any of you all. You might know the answer already, but most of the variables are related to health, asthma. Also, we have exposure to particulate matter 2.5, PM 2.5 attacks to the lungs. But then we also have unemployment and poverty. Why would those variables be included amongst those that are using to establish populations of vulnerability to COVID-19? Does poverty and unemployment have anything to do with health?
I believe poverty has a role in health. I mean, because people in poverty have limited access to like medical funds and stuff, to get treated.
Yes, exactly. And Zoe, could you please put the unemployment map up, and that'll let's see, let's look at unemployment.
And unemployment doesn't have anything to do with health, but it's just a big factor going on in the pandemic. A lot of people are on unemployment because buildings and businesses have shut down.
Yeah, Zoe, okay. So let's look at unemployment. Wow, let's click on Albuquerque, Mexico. So again, just in context, before COVID-19, we had relatively low unemployment numbers, 3%, 4%. Some cities like Nashville were about 2% unemployment. But as you can see, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and some of these other cities are up into the double digits. Or the lowest amongst your cities is 6.5% unemployment. And these are the official numbers. So with regard to COVID-19 and unemployment, can any of you all discuss why perhaps we would look at these figures as being an indicator of vulnerability?
With employment, a lot of people rely on their job for healthcare. And so as people are supply and demand, as people are losing their jobs, they're losing their healthcare as well.
Also, who is unemployed right now? Is everybody unemployed? Who specific, what types of people are not working right now? In what sectors, what employment sectors are having the hardest time right now? People who work where?
I guess is it architectural, like no, sorry, um, like construction.
That's a good point, Parrish, because what we're doing now is mapping clusters of COVID-19 cases, and some of the highest cases are around construction sites. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's hard to social distance around construction sites, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know why that is. What other types of employment sectors are experiencing high unemployment right now?
This is Bridgett Lopez, and I think like retail stores are having high unemployment right now.
What else?
Hospitality, maybe.
Yes, exactly, Zoe. Hospitality, hotels. There are no, I usually go to conventions that have 30,000, 20,000, 10,000 people. That's not happening right now. In Nashville, there were 1,200 conventions canceled between March and August, like not even to the end of the year, 1,200. Those are millions of dollars in losses. But what about this? What if, so these are the people that we call in some cases essential workers, right? So, I had COVID-19 a few weeks ago, and when I tested positive, I thought to myself, wow, what if my job required me to be in contact with people? What if I was an essential employee? What if I was working in a restaurant? What if I was working somewhere where, what if I was working in a grocery store or Home Depot? And now I have to quarantine for 14 days. What if I'm the only person working? What if I'm the only person working in my household? Am I going to quarantine and lose my job? And now my children can't eat? Or am I going to mask up and pray? I mean, these are the kinds of decisions that people are making. And so when you see some of these areas that have high unemployment, a lot of those people are in those kinds of occupations where they're in contact with a lot of people. And are those jobs are they high paying jobs? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, I said people, restaurant workers, people working in the grocery store, those are people who have those types of jobs are often working 2 and 3 jobs because those jobs don't pay highly. And in Tennessee, we still have no state minimum wage. We still have the federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour. And a lot of businesses will pay you just that, $7.25, right? Can you raise children off of $7.25 per hour? I don't think so. So a lot of these folks are in positions where they're in a lot of contact with the public. They're at high risk of getting COVID-19. You can see that person probably still going to work, can't you? Just if they have mild symptoms, or maybe if they're asymptomatic and they test positive for whatever reason, you think they might still go to work. And so that's why these unemployment numbers are challenging for us all. You all did a really good job with this. Thank you for your patience and putting up with the nonsense. I wish I could find that person. But I don't want that West Baltimore to come out here. So let's just keep it academic and positive. So thanks again. Thanks to our guests for joining us. It's taking time out of your day. And let's give our students a hand. clap. Thank you very much. And I will see you all. Oh, you're continuing to work on your final exam projects. So when you need help on those final exam projects, please let me know. It's 100 points. You all, I think I see everybody here who was here. It's all recorded, so I'll know. You know, everybody's thanking you all for a great presentation, and be safe and think, work, and serve. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Badger.
Thank you.